Hello, kindergartners. Mrs. Boydston here. Our nonfiction selection for this week is even shorter than usual. So we're going to turn our reading assignments into a reading/writing and/or illustrating assignment. Do you remember our theme? We're talking about families, how things that are different can still belong together in a group. And as you can see, our nonfiction story is titled Good for You. We are going to be talking about food families. I'll start just by reading the story to you. What does a healthful meal look like? Look at the food groups on the food plate. They are part of a healthful diet. Let's learn about these food groups. Now, I'm guessing you already know some things, so let's do a little bit of loading up our brains first. This red part of the plate, that word is fruits. I'll bet you could name at least 3, maybe more fruits in 10 seconds. Are you ready? Go. That was about 10 seconds. Were you able to do it? I'm sure you were. All right, now let's look at the orange one. This says grains. You remember what grains are? We talked about some of them when we were learning about making bread. See if you can come up with at least 2 kinds of grain. All right, you're going to check your answers in a moment. The green section is the biggest section of our plate. It starts with a V. What do you think that word is? Vegetables. I'm sure you can name vegetables. I'm going to go 10 fingers again. You see how many vegetables you can come up with before I get to 10 fingers. Ready? Begin. How many did you come up with? We'll see if they're on the page that we're going to read about vegetables. And finally, the purple section is protein. Protein comes from meats and nuts. Can you think of some proteins? And don't forget this little blue circle, the dairy part of our plate. What dairy products can you think of? I can think of many. All right, let's see what we have inside our book. Fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are full of vitamins. They give you energy too. The food plate shows that we should eat more vegetables. So do you see how this pile of vegetables is greater than or bigger than our pile of fruits? Do you know why that is? While they are both full of vitamins and fiber and things that are good for you, fruits also have more sugar, and our body doesn't need more sugar. So it's better to eat more vegetables and some fruits. And then down here, we're going to talk about grains. Grains have fiber, minerals, and vitamins. Breads, cereal, rice, and pasta are grains. So if you said bread, cereal, rice, or pasta, you named some grains. You could have also said wheat, barley, oats. Those are all kinds of grain as well. Thinking of that, how many of those fruits did you come up with when you were thinking about fruits? It's quite a few there. And look at all those vegetables. Can you name most of them? We'll move on. You can always come back and try again. Protein. Protein helps to build bones and muscles. Eggs, meat, and fish have protein. Beans and nuts have lots of protein too. We mentioned just briefly meat and beans, or meat and nuts, but you can see different kinds of meat. Fish meat, beef, which comes from cows, pork, which comes from pigs, lamb, which comes from sheep, chicken, poultry, those are all types of meat. And then you could also get protein from eggs and nuts and legumes or seeds and beans. Some dairy foods are good for you. Milk and yogurt have calcium. Calcium is good for your bones, especially when you're growing. So we have a picture of our milk and some yogurt. Once again, once you add too much sugar to a dairy product, like an ice cream, it's no longer a health food, but it sure is tasty. Choose your meals from these food groups. These foods are good for you. That's it. That's our whole nonfiction selection. So this week, since our reading part was so short, what I'd like for you to do is get, if you have some paper, if not, you can do it on a whiteboard. Just take 2 pieces of paper and fold them together like this. And fold them together. So you can make a book. And then on each page, you can practice writing and or drawing the foods from each food group that you like to eat that are also healthy. Have fun with that, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll read the same story, but we use some comprehension questions just to make sure we're listening. Thanks, kindergartners.